Hello, Internet, and welcome to SonyCentric, the Outerhaven's official PlayStation podcast. As always, I'm your host, Jason Kwasnicki. I'm joined here today by the faithful co-host, Mark Sullivan.
How's it going?
And to my virtual left, the lovely Delaila Lugo.
Howdy do.
Howdy do. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Pretty good.
Time to talk about. So excited to talk about some video games.
Good. I hope you're excited, because I got a question for y'all.
What's up?
What are you playing?
Oh,
what are you guys playing?
Oh, shit. Weekly segment.
Mark, let's start with you. What are you playing?
I've still just been doing nothing but Overwatch, but I really need to stop.
Yeah, I like last week I played a little bit of Destiny, made a little bit of headway, but then I went back into Overwatch. Started playing around with Anna a little bit, because, you know, despite how bad she kind of sucks, she's still kind of fun to play.
Oh, you think she sucks?
She's not competitive, I'll put it that way.
I feel like she does kind of feign in the competitive realm.
Especially now that Zenyatta, who kind of fits the same role, he's got all those buffs that just make him
he is now
a monster.
A goddamn beast, and he was like one of my favorite characters to begin with, and now he is just unstoppable. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I've literally carried competitive games as Zenyatta. It's ridiculous. Like 4 gold medals carried.
I mean, it's frankly what he needed. He needed to be a little more able in competitive. Like his survivability was just terrible.
And all they had to do was give him 50 more shield, and that's it.
And make those orbs a little more.
Oh yeah,
instant.
they're faster. Yeah,
way faster now.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad to see Zenyatta in competitive a lot more. I'm also seeing a lot more McCrees popping up in competitive.
Obviously, yeah.
Which is whatever to me, but Zenyatta.
I feel like Blizzard still has no clue what to do with McCree. Like they've tweaked him. In every major patch so far, they've tweaked him a little bit every single time, saying like, he's a little overpowered, so we nerfed him. He's a little underpowered now, so we buffed him. And I think they're still going back and forth with that.
Yeah,
it's all about his range, you know.
Yeah, they fucked up they didn't fuck up his range, but they had to nerf the whole fan the hammer thing as far as it melting tanks, and now his range was all screwed up, so they changed his range, and now I don't know. Like they keep going back and forth with things regarding McCree.
At the end of the day, I don't mind him having a very long range. It makes sense for the kind of character he is. He just fires, I think, a little too fast. They might have to mess with his rate of fire. Because you know what?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, all I was gonna say was as is. Even without his fan the hammer all the way up, like he can still melt people.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say, Jason.
What do they say?
It's high noon somewhere in the world.
I've heard them say that 1 or 2 times. 1 or 2 times around the old old pub.
A couple, yeah.
So Delilah, what have you been playing?
I finally platinum Doom. Yay!
Yay!
Nice. It was a nice platinum. It felt good. It didn't feel like it overstayed its welcome at all.
No, that was an extremely enjoyable platinum. I did it myself, like, I don't know, 2 months ago now, I think. And the only thing I felt like going through those snap map tutorials became very dull. But overall, that was a really enjoyable plat.
Yeah, I loved it.
I still haven't even touched that game.
Oh man.
You should. It's great.
You're in for a hell of a ride, dude. Yeah, you're in for a hell
of a ride.
Literally.
Oh boy.
I've also been playing Overwatch. Finally got about 3 good competitive teams, so my rank's going up and up and up and up. And I have about 4 trophies left before I platinum the game.
Oh my god.
How is that possible?
Delilah, what the hell?
Like, some of those trophies, they're not even, like, obtainable. Some of them are, like,
crazy.
You have to get, like, all of the accoutrements and skins and stuff for a character. That's not even, like, possible.
Yeah,
well, it is if you get enough, like, coins and just blow them all on one character.
Right, exactly.
Statistically, though, the odds are so stacked against you.
Alternatively, you could just, like, blow big money on loot boxes.
I guess, yeah.
Nope, don't do it.
Are you prepared to buy trophies, Delaila?
No, never.
I mean,
Never compromise that honor.
It's literally just one trophy. It's the freaking trophy where you have to have 50 unlocks for a single hero.
And now it's even harder because there's another hero, which dilutes your chances.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and her skins are so amazing too.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're
really
pretty
cool.
dope.
Also,
But
I lied. I have been playing another game.
What was that?
Last night I booted up with a friend for the first time, Resident Evil 5 on PS4.
Oh, so you did get it.
I did get it.
Nice.
I have to say that game looks really good, but I am so not used to Resident Evil controls anymore.
Man, how you... Well, I guess this is good, because you gotta slowly gel your way back in there when RE4 comes rolling around.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
Yo, man, that Krauser fight. I'm so looking forward to it.
That Krauser fight was awful unprofessional. Absolute ass.
He can just, turn his arm into one big fucking biohazard claw, yet he's got to resort to a knife fight.
I think he just has fun with that.
He has panache. He's got style, charisma.
Panache. Wow, that's a word. Word of the day with SonyCentric.
No, the word of the day is always dank.
Dank.
We're a dank podcast here.
There it is. Showed up.
But before we get carried away, I need you all to shut up and listen. Because I've just been handed some urgent and horrifying news stories. Actually, this one's not too horrifying for all the Sony fans here. Yeah, this just in. So Sony, their stock rose to its highest since this past November. Lo and behold, primarily due to PlayStation. Thank you very much. So their shares climbed up, 1.7% to 3,339 yen per share. I'm too lazy to do the dollar translation. Maybe Mark will do it while I continue talking. I don't know. Are you already on it?
I do not want to do that.
All right, never mind. We're not going to do a dollar translation. You can do it yourselves. We're getting the audience involved in this one. Anyway, overall, the gains for the year in terms of their operating income, 11%. So that's awesome. And it's because they more than doubled their operating income from the sales, primarily of PlayStation 4s and the software. So the takeaway here is that, once again, the PlayStation division is kind of holding the rest of Sony afloat. Any surprise here?
No, their other divisions aren't doing as great, but the PlayStation brand, especially with this generation, has been doing so strong since the PS4 launched that of course it's going to carry them up.
Delaila, you have any insight? Can you tell us how many US dollars 3,000 yen is?
Absolutely not. But
God damn it.
PlayStation's the shit, man. That's all I can say to that.
All right, if you really want this translation, I'll give it to you. 3,000 yen.
All right, never mind. We're moving on.
Hold on. I'll get this. 3,000 yen equates to $29 US dollars and 28 cents
per share. Okay, good.
Per
Great.
share.
On with the tour. PlayStation Plus for August. Lo and behold, it's not that good.
Hey, remember? Yeah. Let's bring up last month. Remember when last month was like, oh, we're gonna give you NBA 2K16 and Gone Home, a AAA game and a very, very well-renowned indie game. Remember how great that month was?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. You know what we're getting this month?
Yep.
Rebel Galaxy and what is the other one? Something Towers.
Tricky Towers.
Tricky Towers. Those have to be some pretty tricky towers. I'm telling you.
I feel like I've heard of Rebel Galaxy, and I don't necessarily think I've heard bad things about it, but...
You're probably thinking of Rogue Galaxy.
No. The Rogue Galaxy is all, anime, and...
Dude, it's a beloved PS2 game. It was a beloved PS2 JRPG, yeah.
Right, exactly. I've heard great things about that, too, but I feel like I haven't heard bad things about Rebel Galaxy. But I don't know exactly what it is, and I don't really know anything about Tricky Towers, either.
So, disappointed. Again, I don't think any of this is really coming as a surprise. We hoped that we would see better output on PlayStation Plus. We've talked to this at great length on this show before. One month, it seemed like the trend was turning, and the next, meh.
I will mention, if you have a PS3, you're getting Yakuza 5 this month as well. Which
I completely forgot, yeah.
That's not a bad deal at all. Also, Patapon 3 on the Vita, which I feel like isn't bad. There's a lot of diehard Patapon fans out there.
Yeah, and I mean... Sometimes I just wish I'd kept my PS3.
Well, I mean, I still have mine, so I kind of luck out here. But...
God damn you, and you have a Vita.
And I have a Vita. I'm just like the PlayStation mastermind.
I'm a fake fan. I'm sorry. And finally, Mark, you want to take away this last story? This is the actual surprising story of the week. Just broke today. Mark, you want to take it away? This
is a rather surprising story. Delaila reported on it today earlier, actually. If you look on the Outerhaven.net, you can read more about it. But a little known indie game released in June. I can't say last month, because last month was July now at this point. Wow, time just flies. But a little known indie game released in June on the Xbox One called Inside, which, those of you that don't know, this was a game developed by PlayDead, who previously made Limbo. And if you haven't played Limbo, and 2 of the 3 people on this show have not played Limbo, go play Limbo.
I'm sorry, Mark.
It is... You should be. It's such a great game.
Forgive me, Sullivan-san.
I will forgive you, Kohai. Limbo was a puzzle platforming game, entirely in gray, black and white, and it was fantastic. It gets a little tricky towards the end, but it's like a 3-hour play. Just go buy it on sale or buy it in general and play through it, because Inside is coming to PS4 reportedly at the end of August. This sort of leaked after trophies showed up on Exophase. We've talked about Exophase before. Dead Rising trophies showed up on there randomly, and we later found out that Dead Rising was coming. Dead Rising and Dead Rising 2 were both coming to PS4. Now Inside's trophies came on Exophase, and VG247 reported from a trusted source the game should be launching on PS4 late August.
Basically, if the trophies for a game show up on Exophase, they've put the trophies in. Like, it's not even like it's not a rumor. Like, that game is coming.
Right, and I even said, like, I did say this about Dead Rising, that nothing was confirmed, but it kind of doesn't make sense for them to update their servers with a list of trophies if there's no legitimacy behind them. Not to mention, VG247 having a trusted source, I think it's safe to say that we're definitely getting Inside at the end of August.
Yeah.
So, I think the real interesting part of this is that it was quite a big deal that this was an Xbox exclusive, or at least Microsoft kind of made it out to be at their E3 conferences.
Right.
If I remember correctly from watching those conferences, would you guys disagree?
Not at all.
Nope.
And this game came out on the Xbox to rave reviews. Like,
right.
Perfect 10s.
Yeah. So just for a little bit more context, it was announced on Microsoft stage back at E3 2014. It went through a little bit of time. We didn't hear much about it for a while, and there was a playable demo in August 2015 at one point, and the game also suffered a delay. But then just recently, at E3 2016, it was on Microsoft stage again. They dropped a release date, which was June 29th for Xbox One. It also came to Windows on July 7th. And it did release to absolutely rave reviews. If you go and look at the Metascore, I can do that really quick.
I think it was like 94, something like that.
It's definitely in the 90s.
Yeah, it's high up there.
Hold on. Sorry for the bit of dead air here while I fact
That's
check
not dead air. Why would you point out that it's dead air while Delaila and I are trying to cover up your dead air, Mark?
I don't know. Oh my
You're getting
God.
in the way.
I am so sorry. It has a 93 on Metacritic for Xbox One. Slightly lower for PC.
It's good.
It's fantastic. Yeah, it released to absolute rave reviews. Limbo was a fantastic game. I have no doubt that this was going to be a fantastic game. I'm happy that we're getting it on PlayStation 4.
Yeah, for sure.
It's interesting to me how sudden this seems. I mean, I guess perhaps Microsoft was able to finagle it so that, you know, nothing was said until now, but I don't know.
Well, it's happening a lot sooner than I thought it would, because it's been so frequently associated with Microsoft.
Right, and
it's been on their stages.
I feel like this has to have been planned a while back. Like they had to have known the entire time that they were bringing it to PS4.
Right. Oh, yeah, I have no doubt about that either.
And on this date. So, like, it's interesting to me that at the time that they were touting it as an exclusive at E3, they already knew that it was coming to PS4 like a month after its initial... Or 2 months, I'm sorry, after its initial release.
And this is interesting that, like, I don't know why they didn't talk about that. Especially because it is just so soon. Like, if they were going to have some sort of exclusivity deal, you would think that it might be a little longer than 2 months.
Yeah, I don't know. Delaila, what do you think? What do you make of all this?
Well, just to plug in something that I mentioned in the news article for Inside, PlayDead had told Push Square, they quote-unquote, our goal is, of course, to get Inside into the hands of as many gamers as possible. And that was in July 5th, I believe. Which is still pretty soon, like, for them to just be like, oh, okay, this is, you know, coming to PlayStation. But, whatever the case, like they haven't made a solid announcement of it, and if it's coming out in August, that's like, it's probably going to be like, oh yeah, coming out in 2 weeks, which is kind of like really, really soon, I think. But it's great, I love it.
See, this is just interesting to me because at this point, you know, a year or two ago, Xbox could secure an exclusive for a year, and granted, this is an indie game on a smaller scale. There's significantly less money flying around, I would assume.
But but it's also under the pedigree of the developer of Limbo, which was one of the most successful. What's the thing Xbox used to have? The Summer
Live Arcade.
Yeah, it was one of the most successful live arcade games that basically did arrive on every console you could possibly imagine, or every modern system you could possibly imagine.
Yeah, it's interesting. It just, for me, I think it speaks to a larger trend of, you know, not just PS4 or the PlayStation 4 getting more exclusive deals, but Microsoft, they can't even keep an exclusive deal for longer than a few months. It's kind of insane. I mean, at this point, I think the only exclusive content I can think of that Microsoft has is The Division, which is a failing game.
Well, that does beg the question of what was the quote unquote exclusivity deal with Inside? Like, was there one at all? If there wasn't, why didn't it come out? Parity with all systems at once?
And it's as I can imagine, as like an Xbox fan at this point, hearing this news is kind of like, well, this was kind of touted as one of our big exclusive titles for the year at E3. Like, what the hell is that about?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say big exclusives, but it definitely was touted as it was definitely a big deal for that conference. It was definitely a big deal for indie fans on Xbox.
I mean, at the end of the day, I guess I'm just poking and prodding at this whole like console war crap.
Oh, I definitely agree with you.
Ultimately doesn't mean anything, but still, it's kind of telling. I mean, I guess I can't say nothing more than everybody wants their games on PlayStation right now because it's doing so well.
Damn right.
But as for the game itself, so obviously Delaila and I have not played Limbo, right, Delaila?
That's right.
So
heathen. Okay, I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry, Mark. So, and obviously you haven't played Inside yet, right, Mark?
I have not, because I was sitting here hoping for it to come to PS4, so I'm pretty happy about this news.
Now, do you know, is this game supposed to be kind of a natural continuation of that? Is it just a spiritual successor? How is it like tied to Limbo, if at all?
It basically is sort of a spiritual successor. It explores a lot of the. It seemingly, because I can't say for sure because I haven't played it, but from what I've heard, from what I've seen, it carries on a lot of the same, definitely a lot of the same visuals as Limbo did. It has a little more color than Limbo because, like I said, Limbo was entirely grayscale. It was just black, white, and gray. Inside has some more colors in there, and the visual style is kind of an upgraded version in general of what they used for Limbo.
And what, like, it does have a story? Like, is there any real narrative, or is it kind of one of those more visual narratives?
So the story with Limbo here, and I, like I said, I don't know how much this compares or how Inside compares to this, but you basically just wake up as a young boy in a forest, and you get some context clues that you're trying to find your younger sister. Go through a couple different landscapes. I won't, talk too much about what those are for the sake of spoiling, but it's basically a puzzle platformer. You have to navigate yourself through those landscapes, and you're just attempting to find your younger sister. I don't really know what Inside explores as far as its narrative. I have to sort of cryptic narrative, and I if it's anything like Limbo, the ending is kind of up in the air. You can make what you want of it. There's, theories out there. I believe I actually heard there's quite a few theories about the ending of Inside.
Okay. Sounds neat. I really like games like that. Games like, well, I suppose, I always point to Shadow of Colossus, but I guess it's a little different. Shadow of Colossus, there's a bit of a more overt story, but not too much. But I always like very simple, and like most of the holes are left to you to fill.
Yeah, and Shadow of the Colossus even does that pretty well as well, especially with its ending.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't have to spoil that, even though it's an 11-year-old game. But
I'm gonna spoil it right now. Shadow of the Colossus is a prequel to Ico.
Ooh, spoiled. You heard it here first. Well, probably not first, but
yeah, exactly. Everybody knows this shit. Point is I love that kind of stuff. So actually, this kind of has me somewhat excited. I probably won't get around to playing it though, unfortunately, because No Man's Sky comes out next week.
Wow.
That's right.
And speaking of which,
be
very, very careful.
Yeah, be wary. There's actually there's already a spoiler thread up on NeoGAF right now.
And
because
Reddit.
Some guy paid. This should have gone on the news segment, but I guess we're already into it. Some guy paid $1,300 to buy a copy of No Man's Sky from somebody. I guess somebody who owns a mom and pop shop who was willing to break street date. Street date is just another word for the release date that the developer or publisher wants you to actually release the game on.
The date that you're supposed to sell it on the streets.
Yeah, exactly. So he paid $1,300, $1,300 for this game. He said online, like, "Oh, I have the means, I live comfortably, and this experience is really important to me," or whatnot. So he posted, he started talking a bit about the opening of the game. He posted a video online of, like, the opening, 5-10 minutes? Started telling everybody about it, and then he just suddenly decided to stop after Sean Murray tweeted, "Please don't spoil, you've been waiting for this for years, please don't spoil this for yourselves." So he decided to stop, but there's still a little bit of that introductory footage and details floating around out there on the internet, so be careful, okay?
And I know on Reddit, on the threads there, he actually did go a little in depth on his impressions. I won't spoil anything because I did just go ahead and read it because I don't know, I haven't made it very vague on the show that I still just I don't get that game. I'm getting it. Don't worry, I will.
I'm so juiced.
I know Jason is super excited for it, but I just need to play it and see what the hell it is myself. So I went ahead and read some of the stuff. He went into depth on the Reddit threads. If you don't mind spoiling that for yourself, you can go read them there. But he did stop after Sean Murray said what he said, and I fully, actually, very much respect him for that.
Now, let me ask you, from what you read, did it do anything? Because I have not read these threads or anything. I'm staying away from it. I want to go in cold.
That's fine.
did it do anything to convince you of the game?
No, not really. Which is a little unfortunate, but it I don't know, gave me a little context about some of the things you can do in the game, but I still I don't know. It's one of those things where, and I also was reading and seeing that like some people, it was good for some people because there are other people, you know, out there like me that didn't really understand this game, and they watched some of the leakers' gameplay footage, and it was what, you know, did the final nail in the coffin for their purchasing decision. It made their final, you know, decision on, okay, yeah, I want this game or not.
What were the responses like in the thread? Were they good or bad?
Well, I know a lot of people actually were seemingly pretty disappointed. The guy did have a large list of good things to say. I will put that out, but he also had quite a list of bad. And if there's one thing that I can say that's not really spoiling anything, and frankly, it's to be expected with any large-scale release. The game was reportedly very buggy.
Oh, of course it was going to be.
But yeah, this is also without a day one patch, so
yeah,
we'll you know,
that's
see
a big
what
caveat. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a big caveat. Like, this is without a day one patch, but he did say the game was very buggy.
Yeah, I mean, even with a day one patch, like you're talking about like Minecraft is buggy because Minecraft is procedural. It's a huge math equation just putting out random crap onto your TV screen.
Right.
Like, something is going to go wrong.
Right.
But like I was expecting that, so that's not terrible.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's not something like that. That's something to be expected. It's the degree of how bad they are that can or cannot be or may not be disappointing. But some of the things that he did point out, a lot of people, I guess, were almost misconceived and a little disappointed in. But the guy did have a lot of good things to say. I guess I'll leave it at that.
Is it like too spoilery to say what people were disappointed about?
Yeah, I don't really want to dwell deep into that.
Oh, okay.
Just in case.
Okay.
And especially because I'm circling around you, man, because I know how excited you are for this game.
Do you think I'll be disappointed?
I honestly don't think so.
Okay. Because I mean, at the end of the day, like, the reason I'm excited for this game is because most games that are made, like Mass Effect, most sci-fi games that take place in space are more like Star Wars. You know, shoot, fight, lots of drama and, you know, lots of action. This game, to me, seems like the first game, at least on consoles, there's a lot of them on PC, but it seems like the first console game that's more like Star Trek than Star Wars. Now, I'm not saying I like Star Trek better than Star Wars, but
better not be saying that.
No, because I absolutely do not. But what I'm saying, I'm more trying to give an analogy to kind of the kind of gameplay and atmosphere and the vibe you get from it, where it seems like it seems like the gameplay is more focused on the journey and survival and, like, you know, interacting with the environment. If that makes any sense.
Oh, I completely agree. I completely understand what you're saying at the very least. Like, Star Wars is about pushing a narrative through action. Star Trek. And it's also because they're different mediums, typically. Like, Star Trek is more known for the television show, which is, you know, a serialized number of episodes, where Star Wars is, you know, movies. So they have to fit action into a much smaller scale, or a much shorter time period, rather. Where Star Trek takes its time, it's more about, you know, seeing new environments, I feel. Basically what I'm saying is your analogy is apt.
Cool. Delaila, do you have any interest in this game?
Absolutely. I will be playing it Tuesday as much as I can play, because then I'm flying out to Costa Rica that morning. So I'm gonna go on my planet, punch somebody like I told you guys I would in the previous episode.
Right.
And then continue exploring.
Costa Rica, where all them sharks are from. You taking your PS4 with you? You got a No Man's Ski out there in Costa Rica?
I'm not. I wish I could, but I'm not.
Oh man.
They don't let PS4s on planes. So, you can look forward to our No Man's Ski, aka No Man's Sky episode next week. We might even Mark, are we gonna do that stream? We gotta do that stream next week.
We could do that stream.
I think that's going to be a thing. We'll let you guys know on Twitter at hashtag SonyCentric when that stream will take place. Probably Friday?
Yeah, we could do Friday. That's a thing we could do.
Sounds great. Sounds fantastic. Everything is fantastic. Even dank, I might say, here on SonyCentric.
There it goes again.
Number 2. Number 2, double dunk.
Double
This
dunk.
has been, double dunk. This has been SonyCentric, the Outerhaven's official PlayStation podcast, folks. If you want to see more, please head on over. You can reach us at the Outerhaven Net. That is www.youtube.com/user/theouterhavennet. You can check out all of our podcasts, all of our SonyCentric podcasts, our Xbox Experience podcast, which will return. Okay, it's just on hiatus right now, but we also got the A1 podcast, the Outerhaven podcast, all that good stuff. If you like this video, please feel free to click down below, leave us a like, click that subscribe button. As always, I've been joined by the faithful co-host Mark Sullivan and the lovely Delaila Lugo. It's been real. Peace out, Internet.
Later.
Peace.